everybody, and welcome back to the Universes Academy podcast. I'm your host, John Jennings. With me, as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Chris Smith and Mr. Matt Childress. Chris, what are you looking at?
I was looking at my watch and then looking at my calendar to determine how long it's been since we've had an episode. Because I know I did a deck profile last week, and I know we haven't had a real episode since like before Christmas. So
yeah, but it's probably been the better part of a month. Like the holidays kind of threw us off.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that we waited though, because we got set 4 previews to talk about as well.
We do.
Lots to talk about.
Lots and lots of news.
There's all kinds of stuff to talk about, and I will fall on the sword of being the reason why we haven't recorded in a little bit. We were set to record. Well, I guess it's not me. It's AT&T.
There you go. Yeah,
we were
John didn't pay for his internet, guys.
No, that is not true. That's not true. I have it. It is auto drafted, and I have money in my account.
It's auto drafted.
So it's not that. Also, I'm pretty sure my bank doesn't care if it's they'll just overdraft me. Yeah, they don't. That doesn't matter. No, it was like last Thursday, I think, and I was like working because I work from home half of the week, and I was just working, doing some work, and my internet went out. I was like, well, that's weird. It's never happened, so I switched to AT&T, and never came back on. And I called them. I was like, hey, can you guys send someone out? I kind of like work from home. Also, kind of need to record this podcast tonight.
More importantly, I have a hobby that I make content for, and I would like to do that. Please.
Yeah. I need you to come fix this shit right now. But they couldn't come out till Saturday, and then the guy he came out and looked at everything. He's like, well, there's nothing wrong with your connection and the modem, everything inside the house. I was like, okay. So he's like, well, let me go look at the connection at the start of the neighborhood. Let me go check the fiber stuff or whatever. I don't know. And so he goes and he comes back and he's like, so apparently what happened is someone came out and did some stuff for your neighborhood on Thursday, and he's like, I don't know if they're just new or what, but they just unplugged yours. Just the fiber for your house, just unplugged it. They didn't need to. There's no reason to, but they did. And then they just left and never plugged it back in.
Oh, that's cool. Then.
I was like, okay, cool. So
I must have hated where you ranked certain characters on your guys' set 1, video
a
year ago.
He was like, man, I saw that fucking the first video they ever did, and I knew if I ever got a call to that address, I'm a fucking bone them.
They put Kirishima in the B tier. The character was S tier, and I called it a long time ago.
No, he was definitely in the S tier.
Yeah, I know he was. Yes, I know.
They were like, nah, man, fucking Nomu rules.
No rules. It's like, what is it from, like Billy Madison? Like Odoyo
rules. Yes. Except Nomu's actually good. So.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
But so it has been a little bit. There's been a little bit of news coming out. We've got things. The official. They've started the set 4. Not spoilers, because we don't call them spoilers, but previews. This preview season is upon us. But there's also been a little bit of other news. They released the official side event schedule for the HLC. So if you're going and you're not like our very own Chris Smith and participating in the whole thing and going to win it like he is, there are other things you can do. So they have the set 4 world premiere. I think it's like a sealed event kind of. I don't know if it's going to be a draft. I don't know what have they said.
I think it's just their sealed events aren't draft. Their sealed events are just here. Take X amount of packs and build a deck.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It should be just a straight sealed event.
Yeah. So
even further, not to jump on it, but they're previewing cards at a rapid pace right now, and so we're 2-ish weeks out, maybe almost 3 weeks out from the event.
Yeah.
As of recording, we're 2 weeks out from when all the HLC competitors fly out. So that's 2 weekend, weeks. Right? It's the following Friday. It's the 27th.
Yeah. And they started 6 days ago.
Right. Yeah. And but we're getting a ton of cards. They're almost on track to maybe spoil the vast majority, if not the whole set or something by then. I didn't do the math, but if they're going 7 days a week, it's not like what they did before where it's here's 2 cards a day. It's here's 11 cards. Here's another 11 cards.
Because we had the rival decks over the weekend. They were finished by Sunday, right?
It was 3 days and they're boom, boom, boom. There's all the rival cards.
Here you go. Have fun. Do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
So I was just mentioning that because I was expecting the event at Worlds to be what happened sometimes in the past, where it's people would be at the event, they'd get the new set on hand, and then people were taking pictures and trying to upload them, and it's this whole social media kind of grassroots kind of buzz thing.
Yeah, they're probably trying to avoid that just because there's a big sealed event on that Friday.
Yeah,
so
they just get out in front of that.
Yeah, which is kind of neat because if you think about it, it's a month in advance of what pre-releases are probably because they did do a trailer or like something that March 3rd is their official release
and
date.
so you figure pre-release.
So that means the week before that. So about a month out from pre-releases, you're going to get these awesome cards before anyone else. So yeah.
Yeah. But so that is on Friday, January 7th. And I checked earlier. I think there's like 128 spots open for it. I think they had
27th.
Yeah,
The 27th.
Yeah, the 27th.
You said 7th, yeah.
Oh,
that
sorry.
Was last Saturday.
The 27th, yeah. Man, time is a flat circle. I'm all in. Like Matthew McConaughey, season 1, True Detective. Time is a flat circle, man. Just
time is a flat circle, man. That was the best season of that show, by the way.
It's the only one I've ever watched. So yes, I agree. By default, for me, it is the best season. I've heard season 3.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I've heard side tangent. I've heard season 2. Probably not as bad as everyone says it is.
It's okay.
And season 3 is better than season 2, not better than season 1, but still very good.
Correct. Yes,
that's right. I need to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yes, but so that is on the 27th. I think 83 people have signed up for that. I assume the HLC competitors will play in that.
Yeah, all the HLC competitors are playing in it. So they're adding another 32 on top of whatever the cap is.
Yeah. So there's still like 40 spots available if you want to go, but I mean, legit, I'm kind of surprised there's that many people who are going.
That's 2/3 of it already filled up.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But there's more stuff for you to do too, other than just watch that and play. Because on the 28th, there's an MHA constructed event at 9, and then there's a standard constructed event. And on Sunday, the 29th, you have Common Ground, which I assume is a commons only format, maybe.
It's commons and uncommons.
Uncommons. Okay, yep. I was gonna say it has to be uncommons because then you couldn't have characters, right?
Yeah.
And then
no starter deck cards.
Yes, it is literally only a common or uncommon. You cannot have because starter deck cards are not commons or uncommons or whatever they are.
Correct.
Starter deck cards, starter deck exclusive.
I got a sick list to make I gotta make a video for that and put it out. I got a list that I made up for someone just to put it out in the ether, and I think it's a really good common ground deck. So nice. I'll try to make a video this week on it.
Nice. And then there is a Dragon Horde team sealed, which I don't know if that is just their team sealed thing they've done in the past and it's called Dragon Horde, or if that is a separate variant of that, maybe.
It's so we've done back in the old game, we did a thing at the Rockford PTC called Kevin Broberg's Dragon Horde Extravaganza. Kevin brought a bunch of boxes and packs in a pillowcase, and they did a teams event. So you get to pick up a box worth of packs from mixed sets, and you make 3 decks and you play teams.
Okay.
And it's just something really fun and just something easy to do. And it's actually a blast because you get to play with a bunch of random cards. A lot of these newer players have no idea what they do. So, yeah. And I guess it spans the entire history of Jasco games, I believe. So,
I mean, who could say? Not us.
I mean, I'd play so I can rip Neomax packs and try to get Big Robert kicks. So just because I want one for my collection. But, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But so you have that stuff going on at the HLC, and obviously you'll also be able to watch the event as it's going on. On the topic of Standard, there was an announcement earlier today, right? 2 cards.
Yes, there was.
From Standard banned, 1 eroded.
And then 2 came off, and then 2 became unbanned. So,
yes. Yeah. It was Big Punch, Big Shot
Punch.
Judy got banned.
There you go.
Punch and Judy got banned. So and then Crone Frog came off,
unbanned, and then Tiger Scream got changed to where it's a Baku or a Baku or whatever.
Yako.
Enhance. For the second enhance.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. I definitely was like, what is this Bakugo card? Tigers? I don't know this card.
Yeah, I know the card. Like, it was part of a one-shot deck.
Yeah. So, like, a lot of people are wondering if the Twisting Azure action deck that was played at Nationals is dead because of the Big Shot Punch and Judy ban. I think it's not as potent. It's still possible. They just won't be able to kill you on turn 1 unless they get a nut draw.
Yeah.
Because the issue with Punch and Judy is that they fish each other out. So once you were able to get enough in the pile, you just looped it and made a giant Twisting Azure Inferno
Punch
attack.
and Judy were never okay.
No, they were never okay. They were never okay.
-3 speed or damage.
Or damage. And they had a plus
for the other one.
And they actually, I think they had a +1 high and a +1 low block. Yeah, so they were you're tutorable. Yeah, it was. Nah.
miserable cards.
Yes,
that
they
were
were.
way too
Yeah.
strong from the day one they hit the meta.
Mhm.
It definitely
Meta
sounds like
warping level good.
They were meta warping. Yes,
People
they were.
think that
Seizing the advantage. Oh,
is meta
Jesus.
warping. Yeah,
no.
sit down across from Punch and Judy, then talk to
Yeah.
me.
Have fun with that. Yeah.
But they don't have.
Also-
Do they have blocks? No, they have like great blocks, don't they?
Yeah, they have plus one high.
and a plus
Okay,
one
yeah.
low.
I was gonna say they're standard
one
cards.
high,
Maybe they don't have
Check.
blocks or
And they're
something.
2 discs. And they're
They're 2
free.
discs.
Don't they have
And
like
they're-
6
yeah.
checks?
Yes.
God, he's hearing us in a time loop.
Yeah.
Yes,
acting
he
up here.
is.
He said time is a flat
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah. It's a flat circle.
But-
It is.
Yeah. So I mean, like if you're into standard, cool. There you go. They updated it for you. But
That was one thing that a lot of people wish they did for nationals was ban
Yeah.
those 2 cards because
Yeah, I mean-
everyone. Yeah.
so I mean, I am glad that if you're a standard holdout, that they're giving you some love and some attention.
Yeah,
and
that's
I know
pretty
Jacob
good.
has an event this weekend. I think down in Somerville.
I was gonna bring it up.
It's like a standard event, and then there's also like an MHA event, I think, on Sunday. But the standard event is like a sunrise tournament or something. So
It's-
I was talking to him earlier, and he was talking about the bands coming through, and he's like, yeah, like the week of our event, and I don't know if he already knew about that or not, So, but at the same time, yeah, if you're into standard, I mean, that's a great event for you to go to. Go check it out. It's down in Somerville. It's great, great venue, great store.
Yeah.
But
I want to make it out there sometime because I love Jacob. So
Yeah,
I would like to make it out to his store. It's really, I mean, I have the hat. I have to show up, right?
Exactly.
At some
I
point.
finally got my hat too. It came in the mail.
Yeah, let's go.
Nice.
I guess like it kind of shows that they do. Like I know a lot of people, a lot of standard holdouts were like, well, they don't care about standard. Blah 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 blah. I mean, like they've had a standard sunset tournament, and then they had like 100+ people for it, and now they're going to have one at the HLC. So that's, I mean, you got to think the future of the game is in mixed IPs, and I think they have said that.
Yeah.
And so eventually we will get a different IP mixed in with the MHA. I just think eventually it's going to come to where, well, we're just going to start from MHA and move our way forward, and then have like a historic type format with everything else that Jasco has ever done. So
Yeah.
I just think new standards is going to start with MHA and then move on. And
See, like what I would probably do, and not that they would ever ask me, but what I would probably do is like continue to do these like self-contained games. So like, hey, here's the MHA. Maybe it ends up like in sets or something at some point, right? And it all is just MHA, and then make standard basically a wild format where everything else comes out. So let's say Demon Slayer was the next title they did, and they did the Demon Slayer card game, and all the Demon Slayer cards just play nice with the Demon Slayer cards, like they're designed that way. But then you have MHA in another container, and then standard would be, all right, mix all this shit together and have fun, plus all our old stuff, or maybe they do a Street Fighter card game or whatever. I don't know why I keep putting my hands up for anyone on the audio version. I'm holding my hands up like I'm making containers.
give me Street Fighter 6, buddy. Give me Street Fighter 6. I'm already down for that.
I feel like that's a way that you can kind of like meet in the middle, because like you're releasing multiple sets, unless you want to go and do what Sabretooth did way back when and release 2
Or
sets.
they're doing 2 sets. Oh, I don't.
It was like
also
2
those sets
smaller sets, right?
Those sets were smaller too, so it was like one. It was, one of our sets was technically 2 of the Sabretooth. Random.
I don't think they were significantly smaller. Like I don't think they were like 60, 70 card sets.
No,
like,
but
they normally had like 8-ish characters in them. And they had
but I mean, there's we had rare and ultra rare characters, and
right.
We don't mess with that stuff anymore.
I'm not saying they should do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
But if you
unless
did that,
something like that, I don't think you can do active releases for both like a standard environment and a self-contained without like some sort of rotation, right? Like here's your one standard set a year, or here's your standard promos for the year, or DLC, or some sort of product.
I would assume that they'd probably do like 2 standard sets, 2 mixed in IPs from what their main focus is. So maybe you'll have like 2 or 3, say, MHA sets, and then let's say Street Fighter is the standard set, and they mix in 2 of those, but then the following year they have 3 standard sets and 2 MHAs. Or it depends on the licensing.
I was going to say,
sets a year.
Maybe we don't know that the deal with Funimation or whoever owns the IP is like, hey, if you're using this IP, this is the only one you're putting out right now. Like maybe there's something like that. I don't know.
I would point to the historical evidence that the more IPs you're actively paying for, the less profitable the game has to be.
100%.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
So
for
like,
sure.
it's not just
And
them. I
that's
mean,
just-
literally what happened with
that's
Fantasy
just-
Flight, right? Like they were
Yeah.
paying for like Star Wars, they were paying for Games Workshop, you pay for all this other stuff, and at some point they were also paying for the Street Fighter and Soul Calibur stuff because they owned this game briefly. So I mean, and when they took it,
they had Tekken during that time frame also.
yeah, and the first thing they did was we're going to create our own license.
Yeah. But all that to say, I think that like that's probably one of the ways, not the way, but one of the ways you can move forward and still compete it too if you're
still good it's still good for the kids who love standard. So I'm happy for them. So
it is like, hey, we see you. We are doing stuff. We are thinking about at least making the standard version more palatable, right? For the people that are playing it. It's like, hey, we're here to fix this. If you are going to have your official events like the one this weekend at Final Round in Somerville that Jacob was putting on, the 1K, we've made it better for you. We're still trying to take care of that, and I would say because they had that big event at Nationals, we have the data to say, all right, we got to get rid of these cards. We got to take them out. So yeah,
it showed that people still cared, and like then all the new kids want to play with all the old stuff because they don't know what it does, and they hear about how crazy it is and stuff. But to be honest, though, like you get rid of Punch and Judy, the format, like 'cause when I played at Nats, and I said it in my Nats video. With my deck profile for my Kirishima or whatever, it was actually kind of fun. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be until I faced the Twisting Azure Punch and Judy action deck. And then that was the only round I did not actually feel like playing. Like I was like, this sucks. I don't want to play against this.
Well,
but everything else was fine.
The other thing that MHA players won't immediately understand is that there are different rules to the game. Like fundamentally, like how the game works is
I got to attack on my opponent's turn, and it was fantastic.
Right. You can attack on your opponent's turn. You can attack turn 1. You can do all sorts of other stuff.
I did that a few times.
It is a very different game, and if you're not used to it, you're playing a much more fair and honest version of the game right now by playing MHA. So that's what I would caution people with.
But it looks like that. It looks like that we're getting certain callbacks to older mechanics in MHA, especially in set 4. We're getting some type of callback. So, but continue. Sorry. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe we get a reversal type mechanic in set 5 or 6. I don't know. But it's not reversal. It's something there.
No. I don't think so. Take that out of here.
Just give me Showdown. Just give me Showdown, guys. I just want Showdown back. I want Showdown so bad.
But it has been
reviews
a little bit of time since we've been together. But so what have you guys been playing? What decks have you guys been playing in the meantime?
I've been playing my All Might 3 deck that I made a video for, and now I'm just trying to play different things because I pretty much have settled. I have decided what I'm playing for day 1, and
I've been working on a handful of different lists. In particular, at locals, last couple times I've taken my Earth Midoriya 2 deck and had some success there. Tried him off good for a long time. Wind Up Punch feels real good in that deck, but just having the Earth options of like control and setting the pace of the game, and Midoriya kind of just complements what it wants to do anyway, which is build a massive board. It's been good. It's been fun.
Nice.
Had some success with it, but again, just kind of playing for funsies decks at locals, so it's hard to gauge how viable it is. But
we have a Heroes Clash Championship this weekend at my local store, and they're getting a playmat made, and it's pretty cool. It's a $25 buy-in. We get like 10 plus ultra packs for it.
Okay.
And most of it's like 6 to 8 plus ultra 3s, and then a mixture of the other 2, and then winner gets, and then it's like 5 packs per player in the prize pool or whatever. My store's going like all out for it. So,
very cool.
But it's just Swiss rounds, and I think it'll be done in like 5 hours at most. So, because a lot of people are just like, let's just play cards and then go out for dinner. You know, which is kind of fun. So it's kind of like a nice high stakes. Minimum stakes event.
Medium stakes.
Medium, mid stakes.
It's
like medium well kind of tournament.
Medium well kind of tournament. So it's kind of nice. I think like Ben and Nilo from Madison are coming down. I know Charles Barkley and his boys had some interest in it, so we make it a good crowd for it. So it's gonna be kind of nice, just to whet the appetite before going on a moratorium for like a week, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to play so many games leading up to the HLC. I'm just going to be like, I just kind of want to relax,
I hear you.
Yeah. New patch day for Final Fantasy 14 as of tonight, and I'm doing this instead. I love you guys.
Ooh,
Wow.
that is dedication.
Yep.
That is dedication.
Yep.
I would have
Tim is
even
playing.
faulted you if you said tonight wasn't good for you, man.
Tim is playing right now.
I was gonna say, I feel like if I looked on
jealous.
my Discord, it'd be
He's
Tim
playing.
right here.
He's playing.
Yeah.
Tim is playing, yes, and I am
mhm.
jealous, but it's okay because I want to make sure we get our content out because our fans deserve it.
That
do.
is love
They
right
do.
there.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
I would never have asked you to do that, just for the record. Like, I know you're left for that game as well.
No, man. I'd rather I like hanging out and talking cards and talking stuff anyway.
Well,
so
you said as a new
game
patch
will always-
or a new expansion?
No, a new patch.
Okay,
If it was
okay.
an expansion.
Okay,
I
yeah. I was gonna say that's
I
different.
love
That's
you, but I paid money for that.
yeah.
new patch. I can get that. There's stuff to do, but you can like.
Yeah, no, man. It's just like. And I also been playing Gotham Knights. That game's a lot of fun. It's been pretty maligned overall because it's not like the Arkham games, but it's been a blast. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So I guess it's really all it comes down to is if you, the person, are having fun. It's all that matters.
Exactly.
So,
And the crazy thing is, fun's super subjective. So.
It is like
It
I've
is.
been playing Blood Bowl again recently, and you want to talk about
Oh,
fun?
yeah? Oh yeah. I've heard of it. I've never actually seen it.
Okay.
Before.
I joined the new league.
Yeah. So our local store has a league, and I played in it for a while before COVID. And they did like a rework of a bunch of the rules and everything. They've updated some of the teams and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll play again because they're gonna have like 32 people in our league, which is insane. Yeah, normally
HLC.
It's
blown up. Like
Yeah.
it is a huge league at our
Oh, that's
store.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, like normally we'd have like 10, 12 people in a league, but for whatever reason, and I guess just because like kind of like with UFS and stuff like that, so many people are just in the store playing it all the time. People walk up and like, what are you guys playing? And like they explain it, so they've kind of added players onto that. But I won't go too deep into Blood Bowl, but I have always described Blood Bowl as simultaneously being the most and least fun you'll ever have playing a game. It is at the exact time. It's like
when it's fun, it's real fun.
Yes.
When it's not fun, it's real not fun.
Yes, it is 100%.
Is it football? It's football, right?
So it is. I want to say it is a British person trying to their understanding of what the rules of American football are.
Okay.
And they turned that into a Warhammer based
Cool.
themed game. So it is in the Warhammer.
murder
Yeah,
thing.
it is in the fantasy Warhammer universe.
Okay.
So like you have like the team I'm playing right now are like the Lizardmen team. You have like Nurgle. You have Skaven. You have all these different things. And like over the course of a season, you like buy your players and they level up and they get different skills and things like that. And you can also like you can kill people. Like you can kill your opponent's players. That's you actually
in the game, guys. In the game.
Yes, in the game. In the game.
We do not condone actual violence.
No. But like you,
But the crowd can kill people too.
yes. So
Oh, no way.
Yes. So one of the things is because it's on a pitch, and you can shove players into the pitch, and if they get shoved into the pitch, the crowd just attacks them, and sometimes they just kill them. You just roll a die and see what happens, and sometimes they're just
And
dead.
when they die, it's not just that game. It's like the season.
Oh yeah. Because they can get like
Put
injuries.
that guy on the IR. Put that guy on the IR.
It is
right
that
now.
literally happens. Like you get like an injury, and like, oh, that dude's got a strength down. You're like, oh man, I'm about to have to put him out of the pasture. Or like sometimes someone gets hit and they're just dead. Or like your character can die like trying to like dodge. They accidentally like try to run too far and like they trip on their own feet and they're just dead.
Their spine is coming out through their mouth or something.
Yes.
You know,
Oh wow.
It's a very fun game. It's if you ever have a chance to see Blood Bowl or something like that, I would at least look into it. It's a good option for people that want to play a miniatures gaming but don't want to like the full investment of Warhammer or something like that. $50 gets you a full team, and that's all you need.
bad.
And that's because it's like
Not
11
terrible.
players. That's all you need. However, a game that we all play and is also
previews.
a lot of fun, and we've had some more stuff coming out for. We starting last week, I believe, Levi and Ty from Ty's House of Cards
Wednesday.
started previewing cards, and they started with some characters and things like that. And so we know that for set 4, League of Villains, there's going to be the starter deck. I don't know if it's called a rival box again or what they're.
I think it's a rival. It's a rival box.
It's a rival box. Okay.
Yeah, it's
But-
a rival box.
All Might and All for One. They're gonna. It's those two. You finally getting the showdown
Big
between those two.
throwdown, man.
Yeah.
All Might 6, baby. All Might 6.
All
We're so
Might
close
6.
to All Might 7. We're so close to All Might 7.
But yeah, so All Might 6 is just like the other All Mights. He has All in Good, but he has Order this time.
Order. That's an interesting symbol for him. Is the order symbol? It gives him some neat stuff.
It does, and he's still around
Such a cool
Punch
symbol
and
for him to
Fury.
ignore.
What was that?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Matt?
So it's such a cool symbol for him to ignore.
Oh, such a cool symbol for him to ignore. Man, you're not gonna ignore it when Order Punches comes at you, man.
Yeah. Okay.
But so he's pretty neat. He's all about like discarding the top card of your deck and giving your Puncher Fury attack extra damage, where X is the block modifier.
The block mod.
This dude is dope.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
So
He's just goes all my 3 though.
Yeah.
Enhance. Discard top card of your deck. This Puncher Fury attack is plus X damage. X equals the block modifier of the discarded card. Just gonna go ahead and let you guys know. Put plus Ultra in your deck. Get the free +5 damage. Y'all thought Absurd Strength was gone. We back, baby. We back.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know.
Okay.
Gateway Shuffle. There you go. That's a more
I
recent.
still have
version
no
of it.
idea what you're talking
Man,
about.
we're trying,
Most of these people didn't play
Just
standard.
Put
So,
it into
yeah.
UVS Ultra. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Then he has Enhance. He's actually a defensive character, which is what's so cool about him.
Mm-hmm.
Enhance once per turn, remove a momentum, and add the top card of your discard pile to your hand. So just snap, create some momentum, maybe with some pulls no punches or a velocity punch or a Detroit smash.
Yeah, I think he has another card in his kit that actually does that too. Puts momentum. Maybe I don't know. I don't like.
Yeah,
I
he
see
has
these
attack
things.
that always adds.
Yeah, because I see these things and then I forget them the next day because.
And then he has response commit after you block an attack. Draw 2 cards and discard a card.
It's pretty good.
Sign
All my
me
3
up.
is still better.
Sign me up.
I'm gonna stand by my man and say all my 3 is still better, but it's okay. It does different things. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Pretty good.
I think he's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of neat stuff going on. And obviously, we're not going to go through all of his cards right now. But he's
why
got some.
27 health? That's what I want to know. Every other All Might has
He's-
30 or 29.
Well,
I
it's
don't
like
get
it's
it.
like his
Final
last
fight,
final.
he's
Yeah,
fatigued.
he's on the back
Yeah,
end,
he's
right?
fatigued.
He's got the
Well,
he's holding on
whatever.
to the flames, man. The last embers of his power.
But
He's gonna
like
save the world one last time.
some of his cards allow you to like take cards from your discard pile and just put them on top of your deck, so you can obviously like.
I like that.
Yeah.
The discard pile deck manipulation aspect of him. I think that's really neat. He has some really cool pieces that I think will work into a lot of other decks, like Determined for one. I think that card's really good because it just says, "Hi, one with nature."
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You discard a card for nothing, nerd. For 1 damage. That's neat.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Determined is nutty.
Yeah,
card is
Determined's
what you block a
very
lot of
good.
stuff.
That may be the card that, because you see these rival decks, they're like the Midoriya Bakugo cards, where they're heavily played because obviously I think just because it's still a 3-set format, but they're really good. But I think like out of the All Might cards, I think Determined may be the card that shows up in more decks than any other card. Maybe other than Final Smash, maybe. Other than that, I think that's the card.
Yeah, I mean, like it comes down to your deck construction, right? Like because you have to match 2 symbols. The block has to match 2 with your character, and a lot of characters don't have a problem with that because they run some of their own kit. But if you're one of those characters like starting to explore into a lot of other kits and you only have 1 symbol in common, then you're not gonna get a lot of value out
Oh,
of it.
obviously, yeah, you're not gonna get any value out of it.
But to your point, I do think any deck that can run it will probably start off with it and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
And All for One's nutty too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say real quick on the All Might stuff though. Also the Smash Might is also getting a lot of stuff because there's a lot of cards that just in this that have Smash in the title, and even one that's like
also
Smashing Nomu that has the text that this counts as having Smash in the title.
Which is funny is because if does Eraserhead 2 get rid of that before Smash Might can draw a card? Is Smash Might's on play, right?
Well,
It's
removes
response.
an ability from it, right?
Yeah, that's an ability.
It's
It's a static ability. It's a static. It's an ability.
Is it?
They
Yeah,
can,
it can get
can
rid of
remove
it.
a static.
Uh-huh.
He says
He has
he
some
says
kind of
any
play
one
ability.
ability. I think.
Yeah, it's a static ability.
Is it an
I mean,
ability
maybe,
or
I
an
don't know.
effect?
Uh,
I
It's
don't
just
know.
funny,
know.
but
Use
why
of
would
it.
you do it?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
kind of funny. It's a
Yeah.
bad use of it, but it's just kind of funny. Like there's an outside, there's a weird way to interact with it if you really want to. But I think that card's actually really good.
Yeah.
The Smashing Nomu card, I kind of like that card a lot. So
Yeah.
I think it's good into Nomu. It's very good into Nomu.
Exactly.
very good.
all those
It's,
things.
yeah. Oh yes, it's very good into anything that can reduce damage.
And obviously the other, I almost said hero. The other character in the Rivals is All for One.
Hey, he's a
627.
hero to some people. Okay.
Hey, as a hero can
Good
be
is only a-
subjective, right? He's the
Good
hero
is
of his
only
own
a
story.
point of view, man. Good's only a point of view.
That's what sociopathic murderers tell you.
Yeah.
So all for one, 627, Chaos, Evil, Void. Enhance, your non-throw attack gets +1 damage for every 3 foundations in your stage, max 5. So
15.
Yeah, so 15. Enhance commit, discard 1 momentum. If this attack is blocked, it deals no damage. Cool. He's got an Omni block on his character. Response at the start.
Part 1.
Yep. Response at the start of your combat phase. Add 1 card from your momentum to your hand, then add 1 card from your hand to your momentum. So you're kind of switching cards. It's like his thing where he's like taking whatever power he needs right then, right? Like that's the whole.
I like that.
I
like that a lot.
I think that's kind of what that theme is, which is cool.
Is this the first time we've seen a damage cap on something?
A damage cap?
It says maximum 5 damage. You can't go. You can't get like 6.
Yeah, no. I was just thinking. Because
like
Toga's...
an ability, not like only 20 damage, but it's like the ability has a damage cap. Which is a lot of things.
The modifier on it, because Toga's stuff is only hers is per X every, but there's no like cap on it, right? Like invisible infiltration and her plus to the block modifier. I don't think there's a
Toru.
I said Toga. Sorry, yes, Toru.
Toru 2 has no cap.
Yeah,
has no cap.
Yeah, I think it might be. It's good though.
I wonder if this is the design space they're going to explore, like adding a damage cap that can get so big. Because I know a lot of people have said that 1.3 million volts should be damage capped. All this other stuff should be damage capped because it can get so crazy for a rare. There's no reason for a rare to get over 20 damage and yada yada yada. But whatever.
Yep.
I just wondered if that's something that's going to happen, is that they're going to start damage capping things, just because. Granted, I guess his kind of theme is to outbuild his opponent, so I guess that's probably why he has like a damage cap.
Right. Because you don't want a deck that where he sits here and he just like builds out to like 21, and then he adds 7 damage to everything for free.
Yeah.
And he just and he Omni blocks in the meantime, and he just waits until he's like, I got 6 attacks. They all do 14 damage printed for no resources. I guess you die.
Yeah.
So, he's cool though. Like I think that this guy. Him having an Omni block seems kind of odd to me. Like I don't quite get that part of him.
Doesn't he have a regeneration quirk? So that's kind of that kind of thing.
I think it's just kind of he has access to lots of different stuff, so he can like when he needs to, he can pull it out and like stop something from happening. I guess is the idea.
I imagine it's more so just for the play experience against the All Might, who's making things get plus like 4 and 5 damage, to give him like a nope, not taking this one, and to prevent the damage that way. For the sealed matchup, because I don't think thematically that he's a super defensive character, right? He kind of just like you're saying, he takes it and then he just regenerates. He's like whatever, he's not like nullifying stuff as it comes in.
No, but I guess it does kind of keep his last ability right, because you do have to discard the momentum. So maybe if you do like you can't cycle as much with like the hand from the momentum kind of stuff. Like it does like put.
You mean his last ability that generates a momentum, John?
Yeah.
That ain't no cost. That's to do what you can, dog.
Which is cool is that on turn I believe going second, you get to get a momentum.
Yeah,
like for going second. Yeah, right?
Okay.
Just get a momentum. Like you're down a card, but I mean you're probably only building 3 to 4 anyways, so why not pocket that attack that you're not playing?
I guess I didn't read that right.
Yeah, because it's not together. Like it's not the cost to add it down. So
after
the combat phase, if you don't have a momentum, you can just cram a card from your hand into your momentum. Now, it's worth pointing out, if you have like an electric jolt or something, it does not add face up.
Yeah.
But let's say you hit them with an electric jolt, then it adds. It goes into their turn. You jolt them. Start at your turn. You just pick that bad boy right on back up.
Yeah.
You will be jolting for days.
It's pretty hot.
Yeah. So I think this guy's got some cool options with his symbols. I'm a big Chaos fan right now. So
I was gonna say he puts damage on Chaos attacks, which is pretty cool for looking at stuff to do.
Kind of like that game plan.
It's a free damage enhance. You get to play Chaos is like nuts defense. He to you guys' point, he gets free momentum. So pretty real, not bad.
And he's got some cool support too that like has crazy stats, but also like triggers off of his theme of having more foundations and stuff, right? So like, I'll be interested to see again like how he plays out into the overall meta. But I feel like he's gonna come in and immediately make a splash.
I think so too. I mean, if you want to pick between the two characters of the rival decks, I think he's probably the more meta ready one, just because he just has a vast, like,
he's very linear in his design, right? Like add damage, take no damage, get free momentum. Whereas All Might is really tricky.
Getting free momentum and having a wall cling face shield type damage nullification ability on your face for those turn 2 aggressive decks or whatever. It's like if you're playing Chaos on turn 2, your requesting assistances are online before the game even starts. It's just like sick. I'm good.
Ready whatever I need to ready.
Your shock treatment.
I can ready whatever,
I mean,
man.
Yeah,
your shock
graceful maneuver.
Yeah, your shock treatment.
Well, graceful maneuver doesn't require momentum.
No, but I'm saying you can just ready it.
Oh, I see. With requesting. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
like you got shock treatment, you got requestings, but you got tons of options like on turn 2 going, because people are like, oh, meta's so fast. Yeah, you gotta. This guy's gonna. If you want to play a defensive character, I bet you can build a Chaos defense deck with this guy and just play throws. You can play zero gravity lift. You can play all that good.
Well, he doesn't add damage. He can still play them.
He can still play them and get them back.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
That's true.
Yeah, like your giant ice walls in this character are live. Like he may play the ranged package pretty well. Just think.
I was gonna say Twisting Azure.
His home run comments. That's
what I was saying. Home run comment earlier.
Home run comment is really good in this character.
This man's going to hit you with a home run comment for about 15 to 20.
Yeah, easy. And it's gonna be like the third or fourth attack after you're trying to block the rest of the crap that he's throwing at you. You know, it's like it doesn't matter how fast it is. It's gonna smack you. We're talking Jiro size numbers, or more, But I don't know. I think he's going to be the more played one out of the deck. You'll have your All Might fans and all that, but I think that he's going to be the one that I bet you out of the two, he's going to top an event before the other one. I would assume. I
think that's a safer bet.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like I said, I mean,
I know it's not a hot take or anything, but I'm just saying.
The thing is, like, I think the All Might deck's gonna come down to, it's kind of like the Momo deck, where like it's gonna take people a while to really figure out like what interactions are strong enough that get the deck over the other decks, and then historically, like you're saying, deck manipulation is a really strong game mechanic. So if he can do that, he can eliminate the RNG of his damage pump. Then I think he's got some serious potential to him, because like I said, Plus Ultra has really cool interactions with him because he wants to block anyway, and then it also
inspiration. He has a way to stack stuff, right? So he could Heroes Inspiration, use his, and then he can stack Heroes Inspiration on top to get that extra speed and damage too. Yep, it's another card he could use.
Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff.
So
next character.
I was gonna say, let's see what
next kit. I don't know what we're on. I don't really not paying attention.
It's on the League of Villains, so we'll go to the next iconic villain of the show, right? Shigaraki, Shiggy 3, right?
Yeah, Shiggy 3.
Shiggy 3. 719. Death Evil Order. He has Enhance. Your rival makes a check against a difficulty of 5. If they fail, draw 1 card. Response once per turn. After your rival makes a check, it gets -1. Failing this check will not end the combat phase. And finally, has first form once per game. Remove 1 momentum. Your rival's checks get -1 until the start of your next turn. So if they live that turn, then through their turn.
Yep. It's perpetual breaker 1 on their turn with a breaker 2 splashed in unless you're committed.
And even further, like on your turn, it's a +1 speed that can't be touched to everything.
Pretty sick.
Yeah. Like, you want to talk about a character who might play nice with Twisting Azure off of death? Like -2 to everything if you can get that damage on there, baby.
I think just on paper, his character looks really, really good. It just depends on like what other pieces he gets to play with, because there was a character in Standard called Pharaoh Man that just gave your opponent -1 to all their checks during attacks, and he won a world championship. So I'm not saying that this is on this level, but it's
Shiggy's like a more fair. He's an MHA version of it.
He's an MHA version of it. Yeah, even Pharaoh Man was considered fair by that standard. By that at that point. He
was not on most people's radar.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, and then like don't like discount that draw ability, because how do you win card games is draw a million cards. That's how All Might 3 wins. That's how Kirishima won, was hand management. I think that's the one theme we've always talked about, like the entire history of this game of MHA.
Right? Like
you see more cards. Even
you see more cards.
Yeah, even like with Kirishima, you're not drawing more cards. You're just still cycling and you're seeing more cards.
But like, I want to know how many times like you're gonna hit E. Well, you make a 5. If you fail it, I draw. Like, is your opponent going to commit for that ability, or are they just going to let you draw cards?
You're going to stun 2 on their own turn to keep you from drawing a card?
I think it actually matters on how many cards he gets to draw, which will make or break how good he is. In a way, I think.
And the other thing is, I think so. Every attack he plays, normally when you play an attack, it's 2 cards out of your deck, right? The one you played and the one you check.
Yep.
Well, for him, he's now making it so every attack he plays is 3 cards out of his rival's deck if they decide to block, because it's the one they check, the one they block, and the one they check again for the actual block. And like, this dude could very, very seriously just play super defense and just mill people out. Like, you could probably build a very limited, like maybe throw build of some sort with him off of evil or something, and just sit back and try to just survive and mill people out. Maybe some gut shot, mill them that way as well. Like, this is like what a deck that showed up at Pasadena, but like with an actual character game plan.
With a character game plan. Yeah. I like it a lot. I like that first E, because if your opponent is playing cards like
if they're playing Jiro or something,
or anti-stun stuff, it gets around all that anti-stun stuff, because it's not technically a stun ability, and you're not for them having to commit to pass the check is not considered you committing their cards. It's not like
they are not committing their foundation due to your effect. They're committing it to pay a cost, which is a distinction you've not had to really know before in this game.
Final exam failures is the only one that actually
it's
came
similar
into
to that
question. Similar to that. But hey, you're destined for mainstream success. You Jiros or whatever. You celebrity status. Well, I guess it's gone. It's like, good luck, nerd. And then you're checking a 3, so you get to commit to stop me from drawing a card.
Good luck.
I think that's really good, like defensive way. I think it's a sneaky defensive way that if you can somehow stack your opponent's deck, or there's like attacks on top, you're just like, well, are you gonna let me draw a card, or are you gonna not let me draw a card to try to kill me or whatever? And then you have to
trying to build a giant detention bite deck off of order. Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know.
Bad stuff,
I have no idea. Hey, I love giant bite detention Coda right now. Okay, so don't get me started. No, I think he's
got to survive. That's his trick. Like, you have to just figure out how to not die with that 19 health, because he doesn't inherently keep himself alive. He kind of disrupts their turn, but he doesn't end it.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got to look at the stuff off death, like super regen or something like that, or that maybe the health gain. You've got challenging the fakes, which technically buys you a little health, and then maybe makes their next check harder. Maybe it's like, I'm willing to take a hit or 2 if it's not that big to disrupt your turn, along with other stuff.
I think you try to go into the the graceful maneuvers and the struggling with studies package.
Yeah.
And since he can draw so many cards, you just play lots of really good blocks and just keep on drawing. Hit for the best there, loop some blocks.
I do think it's kind of interesting for his response once per turn. So like, is there a world in which you maybe choose to go second, because maybe you can choose to snipe whatever foundation you want that they play on their first turn? Like, if they're playing, like, it isn't in their turn technically, but if you're like,
I like it.
Like, I'm going to lead with a 3 diff. I'm going to lead with some, busted 3. I'm going to lead with like excited for blood, and they check a 3, and you're like, oh, once per turn you fail it.
Right. And no, he definitely
continue your turn. Yeah.
He does not mind going second as much as some other characters.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to go second.
I don't think he wants. I still think he probably still go first just because. But like, I did think about that, especially like.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. Man. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Because he can also play Hero Killer.
He gets Hero Killer off of Evil. So it's out for 2 symbols. So that's actually pretty relevant.
And also, if you're sitting across from Shigaraki, you definitely have to think about that. You're like, oh shit, I have to take my foundations I want to play this turn into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, what you do there if you're playing against this,
You play on a
is
2
you just
curve.
adjust your curve. Yeah, you just play on your 2 curve, and you still, I mean, you go 2, 1, 0, but you guarantee those 3, and then you play gamble on the 4th one and see what happens, right?
Yeah, but
I do like it that he is a 7. I do like it that he's a 7-hand size because that's one thing I like. I wish Stain 1 was a 7-hand size character because I think he would be infinitely better if he was a 7-hand size character. But again, he probably wouldn't cut himself for speed. So, but it is what it is.
But yeah, I think that Shigaraki is really cool. Next up, we got Dabi, another 719 character. All Chaos Fire, so he has Chaos Fire. He has all this time. Enhance your turn. Remove the top 3 cards of your deck. Your attack gets +3 damage. Strong. Enhance once per turn. Your turn. Remove 1 action from your hand. Add 1 action that shares 2 or more symbols with this character from your discard pile to your hand. So we have another popping up of having 2 or more symbols with your character, right? Like we've seen it on some other cards, and now we have it on a character card. And it is on. He has fire, and fire is like the action card, a symbol, right? Like
action symbol, apparently, right?
Symbol. Yeah.
And boy, there's some good ones that have all in fire and chaos in fire.
This dude wants to play Sugar Rush power up real bad.
Yeah.
Does Evil Gaze have chaos? I don't remember.
No, it's Shigaraki 1, so it's Death and Evil.
Yeah.
Oh, Death and Evil. That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I mean, you still play it. Who cares?
Like, I mean, he still gets access to some of the best actions in the game.
Yeah,
you know?
like, and honestly, I don't even think the action ability is the reason you're playing. Like that +3 damage is nasty.
I think the action thing's just like a sweetener. It's
right.
Oh,
it's just like
cherry on
check
top.
one of those. Cool. I guess I'll get that back for free. You know, like,
it's kind of like your toolbox, like your sideboard, but it's like built into your deck, right? Because if you want, you can also play like concentrate, right? So if you have chaos and fire on a couple of different builds.
Hey, lead with a twisting azure. Remove 3, immediately put it online. Use its ability. Now my things are effectively getting +1 speed and +1 to all checks.
There's one thing to say though is that he cannot pick up infinity blocks. So if it has infinity symbols, he cannot pick those up.
Yes,
because those are separate symbols now.
So he can't pick up +ultra
unless they change that in the future and then disregard. So,
but he can pick up that new action that was previewed that is an omni block. The Kodo one that is technically it can be an omni block or whatever.
Double damage.
Yeah,
double damage. It's an omni
+1 breaker.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, chaos and fire.
Chaos and fire. But yeah, I think he's neat. Like it's something that puts damage on chaos attacks, which is kind of what you're looking for when you're playing chaos. You're like, how am I going to be threatening without being Tokoyami?
And the thing that I like about him is the idea of like removing 3 off the top of your deck. Like those cards are gone for good, but like that feels really thematically appropriate for Dabi.
He's just burning himself down.
He just burned himself alive. Like he is just crispy crittered, and he ain't coming back for another round. You know, like it's all in. At our locals yesterday, one of the dudes was playing, and the game had gone long. He was playing against a Nomu, and he had 3 floatings in play. And he was just burning them. And I looked over, and his remove for game pile was this big. It was huge. And it was like over 90% of his deck. And I look down and I see his discard pile. It's like not even 10 cards. And then his deck's like, 2 or 3. And I'm like, I don't think you can win this game, my man. I think you kind of burned yourself alive here. And then we see this Dabi, and I'm like, that's awesome. Like it's kind of like floating but on your character face, and it does 3 instead of 1. Like this is cool. So I'm excited for this character. I'll definitely check him out.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get a lot of looks just because of the toolboxy nature of the actions. I think so. Like someone's gonna be like, oh well, here's all it's gonna take is one broken action, right? That's all it's gonna take is one action.
Turn 2 Dabi decks. Get ready for it, guys.
Yeah,
new Tokoyami coming in hot.
I was gonna say, I mean, he can play some Dark Shadow too, right? I guess
he can.
If you need to dig and get that plus for your check to play your next card. I mean, being able to tutor Sugar Rush power up out of your discard pile kind of whenever you want to is just really, really good. That's really good. We said some other actions, but I think that's like the big one that people are thinking
he really
of,
wants to play that card.
Yeah.
The thing is
probably going to have an action in his kit too. It's obvious,
I would think so. Yeah.
Like the problem is with Sugar Rush power up is that you have to remove 10 for that card too.
Yeah. So
like, he's playing maybe one of those a game probably. Like I don't unless you're playing some massive Dabi deck.
I guess you can play some of the Shoto 1 stuff where you're milling yourself. Maybe you have a bigger deck and you're doing that, so you're getting them in the discard pile. Maybe you can do that kind of stuff.
Endeavor 1 had some stuff that
Endeavor 1, yeah. You can do that stuff too.
There's options, but
which is hilarious. Playing Endeavor cards in a Dobby deck, but anyway,
hey now.
spoilers.
Ooh, we're gonna have to spoilers that part off. Next up, we have Toga 2, 628,
Yeah.
Death and Life per usual. She has water. First enhance.
Get that drink.
Yeah, she's drinking up the blood. First enhance. Once per turn, your turn. Look at one of your momentum and unflip them. So for all you people that want to look at your momentum, here you go.
Toga.
You're not cheating anymore.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, good job.
This is your
Good job.
character.
Enhance. If this is your first attack this turn, it gets +2 speed. Response twice per turn. After you flip one or more momentum, ready one foundation that has not been readied this combat phase. So we have a new character who has life and water who readies things in her stage.
Only twice per turn.
Only twice per turn. And that's thematic because her other character had a response that was only twice per turn, right? But she
only has 2 hands, so she can like jab. You know,
that's
like,
true.
Wait, no,
and instead of I
only
guess
shank you so much.
Yeah. She seems neat. She seems like a neat character. Obviously you have stuff like Piercing Needle, her ultra rare from the last set. A lot of the Uraraka stuff from set 1, because that's all about being face
gravity
up.
capture,
Zero
baby.
gravity capture, zero gravity lift. If you cheat that into your momentum, you can flip that up and do that. She seems
Like
neat.
off the top of your deck or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like she's gonna be like very kit dependent. Gonna have to kind of see what's going on with her.
I think she's neat. Like the ability to ready stuff is never going to be bad.
Yeah.
And the fact that the good news is she can't do it on their turn on command, right? But on her turn on command, she just saves her first enhance. It's kind of like how Kirishima 2 played, and you wait until you've had to commit something as you push in, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to ready that thing back up.
Yeah.
I mean, go and flip one, and then you're ready a foundation.
Yeah. Well, her response is just twice per turn. So I guess technically she can, like you said, outside of her first enhance, maybe there'll be something that lets you unflip in her kit, lets you flip the momentum.
Yeah, she has other triggers for sure.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I'm going to graceful maneuvers, then I'll do something and unflip a momentum. I'll respond and ready graceful maneuvers, and you're like, haha, suck it, nerd. Here's a bunch of minus speed.
Oh yeah. She should be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna look into that character for sure.
Yeah. So Mr. Compress was revealed at some point to be the pre-release card. I don't have it in front of me, so we're not going to talk about Mr. Compress, the character card. We're going to talk about Dignified Display though, because we have a new keyword entering.
Kirigiri card.
I said, what did I said? Mr. Compress. You're right. Sorry, Mr. Compress. I am.
But I do want to talk about Mr. Compress also.
Mr. Compress actually is really good.
He seems really cool.
He seems really cool. Sorry, you're right. This is a Kurogiri. I'm assuming we'll see Kurogiri in this set, a new character. I don't know if it was revealed or not.
Where is this? There is a very good chance that he is in the set because this is in the front part of the set.
Number 21 out of
yes,
it's not back page. So he's most likely
Yes.
And it's an ultra rare, so most likely he is that.
Yes.
That's his symbol right there.
So my own misremembering of MHA lore and characters aside, we have a new keyword. This Kurogiri.
Yeah.
Sorry, attack dignified display has the echo keyword. Echo response, discard 1 momentum. After this attack resolves, you may play it as your next form this turn. If you do, flip it after it resolves. So in Tim Freebley's little preview article for set 4, there was something that was like a kind of like a new keyword. I don't remember if he conditioned as
said there'd be a new keyword.
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh,
it said there would be a new keyword." Yeah.
Yep. And everyone was like, "Oh man, I hope it's reversal." No, guys, it's not happening.
It was like, well, is it going to be one that is it new to MHA or new to the game completely? Obviously, it's new to the game completely.
Yeah,
right.
So,
it's very similar to how multiple used to work.
Yeah.
Design wise, as far as the idea of like one attack becoming more than one attack, but it's gonna work way better than multiple. I'd be willing to wager as far as a rule standpoint because multiple was always a hot mess of a keyword in the rules. So Echo seems really cool, and there's lots of cool things you can do with it too, right? Like because one attack turning into 2 attacks is good. Trading a momentum for another attack is fine. Like I'll go to let you guys know if you've never done it, it feels good. But only being able to do it, that one time seems more fair. It's like this dignified display could really effectively be a 6 mid for 8.
Yeah.
On a 4 check twice. Like
so you still have to check to play the card.
Right.
Yeah.
But and it also does other things. It also, this card in particular, has Flash and Fury.
And it's got responses and stuff. And
response, right? After you block with this card, add it to the bottom of your deck. Okay, so it clears on block. And then response after you, after this attack is blocked. The other ability is after you block with this card, add the bottom card of your deck to your hand. It just draws a card when you block with it. So.
Yep.
It's going to be super cool with Kirigiri 1.
I see. The issue is, though, I wonder now if it's just because of this one, Echo, is it always going to have a flash mechanic tied to it? Which is kind of weird. It could. I don't know if it should, but we've only seen one Echo attack, so obviously, I'm wondering if they're only going to like maybe have a couple of them in this set, just because it's a new mechanic instead of just like hammering us with Echo attacks. So it'll be interesting, and also if it matters if only ultra rare type cards, since Echo is a powerful ability, are we only going to see it on ultra rare type cards? Because
my question would be, is it going to be, to your point, like how well supported is it going to be? Like, is it going to be a character that's like the Echo character, like is Kirigiri's that's his theme? Or is it just a keyword they threw on a couple of attacks because they thematically felt right? Or we're going to have support cards that interact with like your next Echo attack gets +1/+1 or something like that, right? Who knows? I don't know. I mean, like all of that's cool design space by introducing a new keyword. I'm all for keywords. I love them. But I understand why you want to kind of keep that contained somewhat as well, because you don't want to overwhelm people when they first come to the game. They have to learn 17 keywords just to be able to play a game and understand what happened. So, so this one seems like it's worded really well. Shouldn't lead to too many crazy things happening with other interactions. So yeah.
What's cool is though, if you play Long Lasting Explosion and off of air, then play this, it's a 3 mid for 7.
Ooh,
that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat.
Only the first one.
Only the first one. Only the first one. Then you echo it. Yes. Yes.
Well, the other cool thing is like if they end up doing something with like what's her face, Silky and Mina. You know, like they both deal with face down cards. So like if they end up, if they end up with any sort of access to an Echo card, like that's immediately a cool interaction.
Please give Mina 2 support. Please, I beg you, Jasko. Please, I beg you, Jasko. I have an XR that I want to play so bad.
On the aspect of it, like, or go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say that's what I thought of when it said flip face down. I was like, okay, who can benefit from this face down stuff? Like we don't have an Akuma, you know, like we did back in Standard, who's like, face downs don't matter. But she's kind of like that, and I was like, oh, maybe she gets an Echo attack of some sort.
Yeah. I had a guy in my local play group kind of say, well, she's going to get banned eventually because their design space is going to get hampered because they're going to have all these Echo attacks on her symbols. And I'm like, what? If Mina 2 gets support, I'm all for that because that character's trash.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like give me. Yeah, she's cool.
Not good.
She's not good. She's super cool, not gonna lie, but she needs some help. So please help her, Jasko.
Yeah.
When we say not good, we mean like competitive good. Like she's a great locals fun deck.
Oh, great.
You'll have a blast playing every time.
I want to play this character competitively because she's cool. So you know, and her XR is fantastic. So it's just like very pretty, and I want to play that card. So yeah, please give her all the Echo attacks. She's never going to have all the momentum to pay for it. So just give me all the Echo attacks. Seriously.
Not with that attitude, we won't.
I guess I don't got attitude. I'm going to go home now. You know?
I do think it's interesting that part of the cost of using the Echo, obviously you have to discard the momentum, but then you have to flip this card, so then you don't get it as momentum. I think that's kind of interesting. Also, don't be trying to play combos.
That holds true to Standard's multiple rule, because when you try to put a multiple copy that hit into your momentum, it would be immediately discarded.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. But the thing that this resolves that multiple always had the confusion of is like
it's not a face down card. It's just
a face down card, but it was an attack until it resolved, and then it was just a face down card. It's a face up attack until it resolves, and then it just becomes a face down card.
Yeah, and there's like the whole technically like the printed stats of a multiple attack where it wasn't actually the card that it was. It was a printed like 0/0 or whatever that then
it was
gained
a 0
the stats.
mid 0 were the printed stats of that card. Yes.
Yeah, it was a hot.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It led to some really cool blocking interactions, though, with resets, which was kind of cool, but whatever. Yeah. But we don't want to get into that.
No, we do not. Yeah, I think Echo seems really cool. I'm excited
Yeah.
for it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
John,
I'm all for it.
do you mind if I go over Mr. Compress real quick?
Yeah, that's fine. Bring him up.
So he is 627, Air Evil Void, Response Commit. After you block an attack, add your block to your momentum. So that's kind of cool. Just clears it and stuffs it in his momentum.
Mhm.
And then he has its form, lose 1 health, reveal 1 momentum. If it is not a copy of a card you have played this turn, you may play it as your next form. So like he can block, stuff him into his momentum. The next turn, burn for 1 to reveal 1 of those cards to then be able to play it again.
Mhm.
His interactions with sphere compression or whatever.
Compression sphere. Not to mention his ability with jolt to block with the jolt, slide it in, commit a card on your opponent's turn, and on your next turn you get to pick up that jolt. You get to play that jolt.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feels
It's
real
super
good.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like jolt. I mean, I've been a anti-jolt person for a long time, and I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna just walk along with you guys. Just carry me along. I'm just gonna play Jolt forever, I guess.
Matt just flexing on people. Got the jolt. Got the RLE jolt right there.
I got one too. It's nothing.
I mean, I'm not saying it's just sitting on a pile of rares and ultra rares that were my midnight deck at one point, but
oh
yeah, I gotta sort some cards.
But yeah, so we've, like you guys said, we've been getting a steady stream of cards. I'm sure we're gonna see a bunch more stuff here because, like you guys said, it's been like 3 to 5 cards a day. It seems like today was only 3.
Yeah.
It was the 3 actions.
Today was those 3 actions, and I think that was the smallest amount they've shown. I want to say.
I think so.
So yeah,
it's looking cool. Like, I mean, we always say that about the new set, right? Like, because we're all just fans of the game, but also like just excited to have new things to try out. But I think legitimately, like this set, like these actions are those defensive actions that Tim was writing about in his article clearly, and some of them seem really disruptive to those early turn 2 push to kill kind of those Dobby decks that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just in general, I think people are more fans of the villains than they are of the heroes in the show because the villains are written really well. It's just kind of neat. So I wouldn't be surprised if like. We have another thing too about the set. They haven't announced if there's chrome rares or anything in it.
They have.
We don't know that.
They
have not said anything about having chrome rares or anything. It wasn't even in the solicitations or anything about having chrome rares.
Yeah,
so.
I would say maybe not, just because I feel like they kind of. I don't know if they've hinted at there being a different type of rarity or something in the set, but I feel like with set 3. They kind of early on it wasn't necessarily they didn't come out to say chrome rares, but they were kind of like there's something else like special in this set, and I don't think they've really done that with this set.
They haven't done that with this set yet either, but still we have like 3 weeks worth of previews to go through. Yeah. So
I am gonna real quickly hop on my English degree soapbox, and I've already you guys know what I'm about to say because I said it in our Discord, in our chat. A couple of the cards have to do with having less foundations than your opponent, and I understand that having less is easier and people understand it. Technically, it should say fewer. It should say fewer. Yeah. Less is an unquantifiable amount.
It's 1 letter. It's 1 letter.
It's 1 letter.
Yeah.
But
it's 1 letter.
If fewer is something you can count, less is something you cannot count. You can have fewer cards than your opponent in their staging area, but if you're just looking at an eyeball and like the size of your deck, you're like, oh, I have less cards in my deck maybe than my opponent does, but you can count the number of foundations in play very quickly. Sorry. I know most people probably don't care about that, but it bugs me.
Cares.
It bugs me.
No one cares, man.
I care. I care.
Sleeves that just have that card text on the back of them, just that way you have to look at them the whole time while we're playing.
That's fine.
Less.
Just gonna take. I'm trying to find the card now, just that way.
It's charging 1 for all is the one I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, it was one of the All Might cards, right?
I think there's a couple of cards that reference it.
There was a cool card called I'll Protect You. It's an it gives Earth, Fire, and Life some speed hate. It's a 1/5 with a +3 mid commit flip. It's a back page card with Midoriya and the little water dude when he's fighting Muscular. So that's going to be probably played a lot because everyone loves speed hate. It's a premium. Unless you're playing all good or air, it's a premium. So.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sleeves that have charging 1 for all as the back, John.
Oh my gosh, that's so. Fine. Come on,
that's fine. If you want to spend your money to specifically annoy me. That's
Can we talk about forced quirk activation real quick?
Absolutely not, Chris.
Oh, come on. That card is
real good.
I'm just kidding.
Good.
Talk about it all you want, man.
Good. So I'm going to target my opponent's deadlock enhances when they're in deadlock and when they're not in deadlock, and then they're going to blow up foundations. I'll trade 1 for 1. I think that's kind of cool.
So Force Quirk activation is all for one's unique foundation. It's a 2/4 and says enhance, destroy, choose 1 enhance ability on a rival foundation. If your rival does not play that ability as their next enhance, they destroy that foundation. So even though they cannot play it because they don't meet the requirements, right? Because you're not in deadlock, you can target it and say you have to play that ability. And then when they can't, if they do something else, that foundation blows up.
Because I will target
things a liability.
I will target pull no punches with that card all day long.
Yeah.
Because fuck that card playing against it.
I mean, I'm just gonna blow up pulls no punches to clear a punch card before.
I know. That's fine. That's fine. That means I can build. I'll force you to do it. I'd rather force you to do it than be like, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna do it when I want to. You know, it's like,
and even further, it also has enhance remove. Add 1 card from your discard pile to your momentum. So with all for 1, you're like, I want this card back next turn. Add it in.
Yes, please.
Take it back up. Swap it out with another one. Commence to jiggling.
I mean, I'm just gonna add jolts in from my discard pile. So because they go in face up, friends, and I commit. Oh yeah, baby. The more I talk about this all for 1 deck with Jolt, the more I think I'm up. Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. I don't know how we're gonna kill people other than with his giant attack, but whatever.
Well, dude, when your jolts are coming across for 8 damage,
yes, you do. Yeah.
They're gonna block them, and then your
Jolt's got EX too.
It does have EX
also. That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's silly.
Things in the mix.
Yeah.
That's silly. Silly.
Well, I think that's gonna just about do it for us today. As always, do the algorithm things, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things.
I know I said this on all my deck profile. We hit 300.
Yeah.
300 plus subs. So thank you everybody for following us along on our crazy journey.
Yes,
really appreciate it. On some of our last video, like when we did our last podcast too.
Yep.
Also, I am trying to keep up, but as I was saying, there's a lot of spoilers every day, or previews. I'm sorry. But on the website, we do have all the characters added on, and some of the other support cards and the bios and stuff written for them. So if you haven't been following them, just go on some other social medias and to see these cards. You can always go to the website and check out our hero page section. Still tracking Chrome Rare, and all the metadata as you get ready for the HLC. You can check that out because I'm sure those guys don't have any clue what's good in the game.
From what I know, no one knows what they're playing. So it's just, I think people are just going to throw a dartboard, and then 5 minutes before.
Look, it's just going to be day ones. Everyone's going to play your random decks, and then
well, that's the thing is before we
midnight deck.
I'm just going to get on my soapbox because we have no idea where we're staying and when we're flying, what time we're flying out. We don't know when our decks are due. So please, Jasco, if you watch this, kind of give us this info because we kind of need it. It's only 2 weeks away. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh man,
I beg you.
I was just I've had forced quirk activation. It's got void, man. Edo 1, you can steal the first enhance, do that and blow. Oh man.
But it's sick. Yeah, let's go. Oh, Edo 1, baby, the Dark Horse deck. I'm telling you right now, the Dark Horse deck.
Sorry, I just thought about that. I was like, oh man.
Edo 1, I'm going to say this right now. If Edo 1 was a 7-hander, he would be S tier. He would be S tier.
Yeah,
he was a 7-hander.
He's right there with Bakugo 1. If Bakugo 1 was a 7-hander, pretty sure he'd be S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy peasy, don't crazy, man.
5 attacks. Okay, cool. Keep on trucking.
Yeah. Sorry. I just had that up. I was thinking about that. And I was like, oh man.
Now we're just spiraling.
Steal the first enhance. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna go off. We're gonna go too far.
Play the music. Get us out of here.
Yeah. Have a good week,
everyone.
Guys. Bye.
Night, guys. All right, let's do this thing.
I'll say y'all ready to do this.
We're just sitting here talking about all the previews anyway.
I'm just gonna follow your. I don't have anything pulled up. I have this cards pulled up. That's all I got pulled up. So you guys.